Imagine this. Your friend tells you, don't get married. Many marriages end in divorce. Another friend says he failed two subjects, so university is not for him. And someone online confidently posts, students use social media, that's why their grades are getting worse. At first, all these statements sound convincing, right? I mean, they may sound logical or believable, and some people might even agree with them immediately without questioning anything. But what if I told you that this argument may actually contain hidden assumption, weak reasoning, and important missing information? The problem is, in everyday life, people often jump to conclusion too quickly. We hear one fact, one statistic, or one opinion, and suddenly we believe that the conclusion must be true. But critical thinking teaches us something different. It teaches us to stop and ask questions like, what is this person assuming? Are there any other explanation? Does the evidence really support the conclusion? And what important information is being ignored? So in today's video, we will bring this concept to life through several realistic situations and conversation. So as each scene unfolds, pay close attention to the argument being made, and don't just listen to the conclusion, but also analyze the reasoning behind it. So let's see if you can identify the implicit assumption, the hypothetical assumption, and the missing or the relevant consideration before our analysts explain them. So now, let the critical thinking begin.
Oh, that's not. Look,
What?
so I failed two subjects again.
Wait, really? Damn, is he okay? I thought he was improving.
And I don't know. At this point, I honestly think that university is not suitable for him.
Why would you say that?
Well, if someone keeps failing two or more subjects, I think academically just love their friend.
So, what do you think we should do instead?
Oh, well, maybe he should become a businessman or influencer.
What? Just because he failed two subjects?
Yeah, because businessman does need and degree in ways, right? I think business is more suitable for him.
So, according to your logic, if I fail math tomorrow, I should immediately open a company?
Honestly, yeah.
Wait, your critical thinking skills need to visit exams too.
These concepts demonstrate the concept of implicit assumption. So the question is, what is implicit assumption? So an implicit assumption is a hidden belief or idea that is not directly stated, but it is necessary for the argument to make sense. In this conversation, Dollar concluded that Soy is not suitable for the university simply because he failed two subjects. However, behind this conclusion is a hidden assumption that anyone who failed subject is not academically capable and would be more suitable for business instead. And this assumption is problematic because failing a few subject does not automatically determine a person's future success or ability. And there may be other reason behind this, that Soy could be struggling temporarily, or he may improve later, or he may simply need more time for himself. So the argument also assumes that becoming a businessman is easier than succeeding in university, even though business also require important skills such as leadership, planning, communication, and discipline as well. Therefore, the reasoning is weak because it relies on questionable hidden assumption rather than strong evidence.
Now that we understand the implicit assumption, let us move to the second concept, hypothetical assumption.
Guys, I'm telling you, social media should be banned for students.
Man, that sounds extreme. Why?
Because students who spend most of their time on social media usually get lower grades.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Watch this video. It says I can become rich in just 2 weeks.
See, this is exactly what I mean. He watched 3 motivational videos and he thinks he will become rich in final week. for final week.
But some students actually manage their time well and still get good grade.
Maybe, but social media still create a lot of distraction for students.
That may be true, but some students can still waste their time without social media. Don't you think so?
No. Like if social media lower student grade, then banning it will automatically improve the academic performance.
So by your logic, if we delete Instagram, everyone suddenly become student?
Excellent. Can just delete my TikTok today and become doctor by tomorrow.
No. Like you two are missing the point though.
No, I think you are just simplifying the problem too much.
Yeah, exactly. Some students use social media for studying purpose. For example, like me, I learned critical thinking skills from YouTube yesterday.
And some students even fail without social media.
All right. Maybe banning it will fix the problem then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This scenario demonstrates the concept of hypothetical assumption. A hypothetical assumption is an additional assumption that is used to support an argument, even though it may not be fully proven. In this roleplay, both argue that social media should be banned because students who use social media often get lower grades. The key assumption appears when both say, if social media lower grades, then banning it will automatically improve the academic performance. At first, this sounds logical. However, the argument oversimplifies a much more complex issue. Poor academic performance can also be caused by other factors, such as poor time management, stress, lack of motivation, sleeping habits, and personal discipline. The roleplay also shows that students can still waste time without social media, which challenge the idea that banning it will completely solve the problem. In addition, the argument only focuses on the negative side of the social media, while ignoring the other educational benefits. As mentioned in the scenario, some students use platforms like YouTube to learn new skills and study. Therefore, the assumption becomes too direct and unrealistic because it ignores other possibilities and factors. In conclusion, this scenario reminds us that just because two things are connected does not automatically mean one simple solution will fix the problem. Good critical thinking skill require us to question assumptions carefully instead of accepting them immediately.
Next, we will present the final concept, other relevant considerations. Guys,
What?
I just found a divorce statistic. Let's see here.
Girl, why would you mind about that? Like, I don't care about it at all. Well,
I don't think people should get married anymore.
well, that's true that divorce rates exist, but does that mean marriage itself is a bad idea?
Well, if so many couples break up, it kind of proves that marriage is risky and usually leads to problems. And because many marriages end in divorce, so it shows that marriage don't really work for a lot of people.
But you're only looking at one factor. Divorce doesn't automatically mean marriage is a failure. Some people stay happily and married for life.
Also, there are other things for us to consider, not only the statistic, and some couple divorce because of financial issue or maybe communication barriers, and also maybe some that like they expect too much unrealistic expectations. And I think not because of marriage itself is bad.
But still, the risk is high. Wouldn't it be safer not to get married at all?
Not necessarily. That's like saying driving is dangerous because accidents happen. So people should never drive.
Exactly. You also have to consider the benefits of marriage as well. Things such as emotional support, companionships, and maybe family stabilities. You can just focus on the bad outcome.
Okay, I guess I focused too much on the worst statistic and ignored other factors.
Right. The issue isn't just whether divorce happens, but why it happens, and how relationships are managed.
So the conclusion is about the marriage itself is bad, but the outcome of the factors.
Mhm.
And also, if we ban marriage because of divorce rate, how the romantic movies where the rate of the romantic movie will drop down because there's no twist.
You got the point. And wedding would just be a parties with lots of food. Yeah, that actually sounds good. It's free food.
So you're not against marriage itself. You're just hungry.
This scenario illustrates the concepts of other relevant considerations. In this roleplay, there are not argues that people shouldn't get married at all because many marriages always end up in divorce. So while this may sound convincing at first, the argument only focuses on one side of the issues and ignores other important factors. For example, the essay mentions that many couples live a happily married life. This shows that divorce does not represent every marriage experience. Dola also explained that divorce can happen due to lack of trust, poor communication, financial stress, and unrealistic expectations. This suggests that divorce may result from relationship problems rather than marriage itself. In addition, marriage can provide lots of positive outcomes such as companionship, family connections, and stability. Also, the comparison between driving is also important. Just because accident happens, it doesn't mean that people should stop driving. Similarly, divorce does not automatically prove that marriage is bad. So to sum up, this scenario teaches us that when we evaluate an argument, we shouldn't look at one side or one piece of evidence or perspective. A strong critical thinking requires us to consider multiple viewpoints, alternative explanations, and other relevant factors before accepting a conclusion.
So through these three situations, we can see that arguments are not always as strong or logical as they first appear. Sometimes people make conclusions based on implicit or hidden assumptions. Sometimes they oversimplify the problems by relying on the hypothetical assumptions. And sometimes they ignore all the relevant considerations and only focus on one side of the issue. This is why critical thinking is important in everyday life. Whether we are discussing about education, social media, relationships, or even argument we see online, we should learn to question the reasoning behind the conclusions instead of accepting everything immediately. We should ask questions like what assumptions are being made? Is there enough evidence? And what important information is missing? Because good critical thinkers do not simply react to the arguments. They analyze them carefully before deciding whether they are convincing or not.